Have you ever found yourself in a place of darkness, a dark headspace, and had nowhere to turn or didn't know what to do or how you got there? You found yourself pouring into everybody and nobody refilled your cup, and you felt like giving up. You felt like throwing in the towel and calling it quits because either you have kids or you have parents or significant others and your job, and you just constantly pouring into people, pouring in, and you get no validation, you get no acceptance, or you don't feel appreciated. I've been there. I've been hesitant on sharing my story on whether it should be YouTube or podcast or blogging or a book. It might be a combination of all of them, but I'm at the place in life where my story, my obstacles of life, and my purpose should be known. God has given me a vision of things. I've been through a lot in my life, constantly going through, and I feel like whatever I went through, somebody else can benefit from it. This video might be all over the place. It might not be a good quality, but I'm starting from somewhere, and somebody can benefit from the lessons I've learned, or they might be at that brink where they too is ready to throw in the towel and give up on life and give up on their self, or they may not know their self-worth. And hopefully me speaking my truth will help somebody else. First off, my name is Ebony. I don't know what I am. I guess you could say I am a single mother of 4, but I was still emotionally attached to my ex-husband. Even though we were friends, and I hope our friendship has not gone by the wayside, but we've been on again, off again, on again, off again over the course of so many years. And I will end up breaking all that down in different videos or podcasts or chapters of things that I've learned. But there is a song out there that we both, or he made a comment some months back that that song is us. He's a big Ludacris fan, and the song with him and Monica is I can't live with you and I can't live without you. But we just go through rough patches in life, and it just brings us either together. Some things that we go through will tear us apart. Heck, he's gone through we've gone through a lot. He doesn't remember a lot of the things that happened in our marriage that has hurt me. And there's things that I don't remember, but he don't remember a lot of the good times. And then some things I do remember. Heck, like I said, we have 4 kids. One was outside of marriage before we got married, but we planned her. And then we also had some bumps in the road. We had a miscarriage. We also had another pregnancy. And in that time frame, I was forced to have an abortion. That's another topic that I will talk about as far as having mommy issues, I guess you can say, or parenting, daddy issues, mommy issues, and things. And there was a part in our life that we were, I guess you could say, broken up. But then we had got back together not too long after that and ended up getting married. 4 months later, after that abortion, ended up getting pregnant in marriage. But we were only married for 2 years, and in that 2 years time frame, by the time the second wedding anniversary came around, we were divorced. But again, I will break that down later. But right now, I recently came through a rough patch because he was gone. He stopped talking to me and ended up getting remarried. And my thing is, how is it always easy for the guy? The guy, it's always easy for them to find someone else when the woman is left with the child. And then, some people may say it's easier for women to get another partner. But to me, I don't feel like that's true. In the instances, I feel like he hasn't healed from childhood trauma that he has gone through. And he looks for validation in people, but he doesn't see that. He looks for love in other people, other women. And recently I've been telling him that he should have put all that energy into his children. God saw fit to bring him back around into his kid's life. Yeah, he was in a marriage. They got divorced. And then that's how we ended up reconnecting over the years that we wasn't connected. I was trying to get closer to God. I at first I felt like, well, if he's out here getting in these relationships with people, so can I. So I found myself getting on dating websites and trying to find someone for me, but I kept on finding the same type of people. The ones that saw me for what I had, that used me, even friendships. And again, that's other topics that I will talk about at a later time. But I just wanted to be loved, and I wanted that affection and adult companionship outside of kids. Because again, he's easy to go and do whatever, but I gotta work to make ends meet. Wasn't getting child support. Or at the times when I was getting the child support, he felt like, for what? And I literally had to break it down. I mean, it's as if you were in the home. I mean, I didn't make these kids by myself. And granted, we had 2 other kids outside of once we got divorced. But again, that goes back to the lines of, you can't live with him, can't live without him. He always came back to me. We always found each other again, and we always got, pregnant again. But then he would be talking to me, or I'm thinking we're on and actually we're off. We call it a light switch relationship. And when I'm thinking and getting my emotions involved and attached, his emotions wasn't there. He was still doing him. And that brings me up to recently. I mean, in March of 2021, he, like I said, he got married and was married for so many years. They got a divorce. And in 2019, November of 2019, we reconnected, I guess you can say, because we went to court for child support. And he feels like, why are you asking for money? Why are you doing this? I don't have nothing. And see, at the time, I didn't know him and the wife that he was with was divorcing, and that he was homeless and was living out of his truck at the time and was up in Dallas. And we were playing tit for tat. Over the years, it was always tit for tat. But at that point in 2019, I was finding myself, and no advertisement, no sponsorship. But at the time, I was in the one university with Jamal and Natasha Miller. And at the time, going through the different modules and the different lessons, I got over my past, and I asked for forgiveness, and I asked for the bitterness and the bondage and the soul ties to be broken from many people that was in my life. But I asked for forgiveness for him. But I had also, prior to that, had already asked for forgiveness, and I had already asked God years prior to let go of any hatred I had towards him. I let it go, and I let God fight my battles and everything. And again, at that time in 2019, we hashed out everything, and I told him where I was in my life and in my spiritual walk with God, and trying to get closer and trying to be a better person for myself. And we reconnected. We basically restarted over our friendship, and we were basically being transparent with each other, vulnerable with each other. I mean, I've been here with these kids all these years, and don't get me wrong, God has blessed me in a lot of ways and a whole bunch of magnitude, but I also still didn't feel complete. And when we reconnected, I looked at that as, I guess, a sign, maybe God was bringing him back around. And we constantly talked on the phone. He was at the time still living in Dallas and everything. And we would talk, and I was there for him and he was there for me. And at that time, I was also letting him know, granted, you long to be in a relationship, you long to be with somebody, you fear dying alone. But again, put all that energy into your kids. You missed so many years out of their life. Put that into getting to know them. And we started having monthly meetups, where I would bring the kids around and we would hang out as, I guess you could say, a family, quote unquote, but to try to build a relationship and build a bond. And that happened. And, 2020, he ended up wanting to find his own place. And I was helping him. The holiday season of 2019, he ended up finding a job. He was paying his child support regularly. He was doing the things that he needed to do. We were helping each other out, but not, I guess you could say, being in a relationship. We were friends helping each other out. When he needed something, I was there, and vice versa. And things were working out good. And at the time, I was able to help him to get out of living in his truck. And, of course, he paid me back, but we were working together as a co-parenting partnership. Then, of course, COVID hit. I want to say that was around, COVID had hit. But then also, he wasn't talking to his ex-wife at the time, and he was talking to me more, but I also was talking to her, but then as a friend, but then it also being tit for tat. People only come around to benefit what they can benefit from. And then it was he said, she said, he did this, you did this, and this, and the third. Or just animosity and just toxicity. Long story short, she was dating somebody, and then he got jealous because he saw that she was happy with somebody else, and he felt like that he can make her happy again. And needless to say, when COVID hit, he came down here because I didn't know if I had to be on lockdown because of the type of job that I do. And he was here staying with me for a month at the time. And I still was coming home because I didn't know what was going to happen. And he ended up staying here, and we reconnected on a lot of things. And, then he said he was testing me, but didn't tell me that I was being tested. And I was like, huh? Again, our marriage kind of broke up because I was there for my mother more than I was for my husband. But again, that's another topic for another episode or another video. And so then he got upset because we were watching a movie and my mom called and I was talking to her, and he feels like anytime my mother calls or I talk to her or go over her house, my mood or attitude changes. And I could see that looking back till today. But that's his only excuse as to not being with me, is because of my mother. So he ended up remarrying his second wife for the second time. So they remarried twice. This was in September of 2020. And I told him, are you happy, or are you only doing this because you saw her being happy with whoever she was with? And long story short now, I keep on saying long story short, but they're divorced. We're in November of 2021. And ironically, it makes 2 years to the day, not 2 years to the day, but 2 years since we reconnected and started talking. And to say the least, we're not talking again as we were. We're not vulnerable or transparent with each other as we were. So they ended up getting remarried. And again, around this time last year, we wasn't talking because we were talking more, but not as we were basically in 2019. I had to respect him because he was remarried. But, when he wasn't with his wife or around his wife or on the phone with me, on the phone with her or in her presence, he would be on the phone with me. Well, and when he was on the phone with me or talking to me, he will let me know how miserable he was, how unhappy he was. And I told him, you shouldn't have got married. Y'all should have sought counsel. She didn't want to seek counsel. And he was trying to. But again, that the pastor that they were in the church they were with at the time, he told him, what is it? You need to talk things out. To me, I also felt like his wife was hindering him from doing the things that he needed to do. But again, like a lot of people say, a man is a man. You don't let no woman or nobody dictate your life. You got child support. You got children to take care of. You need to do the things that you need to do. Well, they ended up things not working out. He just kept on being miserable. And I told him, let that relationship go. You shouldn't have remarried. Told him to get an annulment. The time passed for the annulment, and he just kept on. He was trying and trying, but again, both of them wasn't trying like they should. So In 2021, we again still communicating and everything, and his truck was breaking down and things was happening in his life and whatever. And I always felt like the one to pick up the pieces. I was helping him out. He needed parts for his truck. I was helping him out. Heck, he needed payment sometimes because he wasn't working as he should. But you're married, but I'm helping you out. I'm taking away from my household and taking away from our kids. But I always have been that person where if you need it, I felt like if I was the good steward and God blessed me and I have it, same thing. But then I also felt like a dummy sometimes in areas of my life with different people. Hell, even with my own parents. It's like, I got kids and I'm giving, and I don't feel appreciative. So there recently, again, he moved here in March of 2021. He moved back to Houston. Truck was broke down and, couldn't even drive the truck here. But because he needed to get out or wanted to get out of the situation or whatever, I was the dummy, I guess you could say, and helped him get a U-Haul, paid for the U-Haul. Oh, I'm going to pay you back, this and then the third. Well, you already owe me over $50,000 in child support. But things that you have, I guess you could say, if I help him out and show him the things that other people are not showing him, his wife or at the time, or any of these other women that he's trying to entertain. If I show him, I'm trying to show him the other side, trying to show him I'm not that same person from when we were younger. I felt like when we were young and got married, we got married too soon and we were young. I'm trying to show him the mature me, the growth in me. I got your back. I'm your helpmeet. I'm your helpmate. And I kept on doing, but not replenishing myself. And so he moved here to Houston. At the time, he stayed with his mom, but then he would come over and hang out with me and the kids. And then it felt like he was here more. And then again, he was. And then his sister moved back home from Dubai. And so then he felt like if he stayed at home with his parents and his mom and sister and dad, that they would ask him to do much and he wouldn't be able to do things and vice versa or whatever. So then he moved in, I guess you can say. But then he used his parents' address. But he felt like he didn't fully move in here, but he did. More and more, his clothes and things started piling up. And then he went back to Dallas to get the remainder things that he had in Dallas and needed somewhere to put it. So then my garage ended up being his storehouse, I guess you could say. His mechanic shop. All his mechanic tools and clothes and things was here. And then he wanted us, me and the kids, to go through his things and wash them, or he would bring things in the house. But I'm like, I'm not going to bring things in the house if it's been sitting up and on the back of your truck, or things being mildewed. This is a brand new house. So I literally took every bit of pieces of his clothes and washed them good and folded them up or hung them up. And so needless to say, he moved in. It was always known that, I'm here, but we're not together. And people would ask me, so you and him back together? And I'm like, no. I kept on saying no. But I got that emotional attachment. Hell, we were grown people doing grown people things. I mean, even some people would say over the years that some of his family members and some people that I used to talk to as friends or whatever, you was his first wife. In God's eyes, you're always his first wife. And that's what people will always say, and this and then the third. You love him, he loves you. And I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that there is a love there. Hell, over the last few months, we have had deep conversations and, deep intimate moments where the love was shown and the love was there or whatever. But again, he still wanted more. He would be looking online for people to be in a relationship with, being on these dating sites, and then people wouldn't give him the time of day, and then he's like, I don't understand why this, why that, and then he'll get down on his dumps, and I will always lift him up and spiritually uplift him, but a piece of me will always be broken off. Didn't mention it before, but he had, when we were together years ago, we were living together, and he don't recall the events of how things were, but again, he stepped out, I guess you could say, was hanging out and seeing someone, or not seeing, but then they ended up sleeping together, and he ended up having another kid. So in between our second and third kid, he had another kid, but guess what? That child is only 4 months older than our third child. There had been an incident that happened, and he ended up having to serve time for a situation that happened. But needless to say, God brought that child also back into his life. And I kept telling him, I'm like, God is doing things in your life for a reason. I don't know what the lesson is behind it. He feels like there's a motive behind it from the other mother, from the other parent, from the other baby mama or whatever. What does she have to gain from it? Why is she coming around after all these years? Well, maybe it's time for you to grow up and be involved in your children's life. In my mindset, in my life, I'm a caregiver as my profession. That's my passion. I love taking care of people. And I always wanted to be a pediatrician. And again, life happened. Things got in the way, and again, that I will talk about that probably in another episode somehow. But I always figured babies, kids, anybody from infancy to say 18, 19, depending on their mental state of maturity, is innocent. The elderly, geriatrics, they're innocent. And nowadays, people in their 50s can be elderly, depending on their health concerns and how they live their life. So I guess you could say roughly 55, 60 and up, I care for those type of people. Anybody in between, you grown, you can make your own faults and decisions or whatever. Regardless of how the child got here, hell, even when we were dating off again, on again, and the little boy was born and around, and things happened or whatever, and he would come around, or I would be with my ex-husband, and we would be hanging out, or whatever the case may be, and the little boy would be around. I basically, I guess you could say, took care of him, because he was a hard sleeper. You just can't give a kid a bottle and just fall asleep. You got to change the baby. You got to do things. Or if he needed clothes, I would buy the clothes when he was younger, and still to this moment. So summer of this year, this past summer in July, the mom ended up texting my ex-husband out the blue, and I'm at work, and he's out with two of our kids, and he was like, wow, I just got a text message, and she's like, hey, he wants to see you. He wants to be involved in your life. And he was like, huh? And I'm like, okay, well, respond. So he responded, and they met up, and a little boy came over to the house. And at first the mom was like, well, hey, he wants to stay for a month, for the summer, the rest of the summer. And you were like, what? Well, first off, he don't know you from Adam, but let's just see how it goes. See how he is around the kids and everything, and then we'll go from there. So he was over around for a couple of hours, and So we let the weekend go by. I think that was a Friday. So he was like, okay, he could stay for the weekend. And mom was like, well, you got to buy him some clothes. I didn't send him no clothes. I'm not going to send him no clothes. So I'm like, okay, well, he needs some clothes. He also needed some good nights. You know, the little boy is 12. You know, there's some behavior issues and some incontinent issues and some things along in there. And so I was like, okay, well, let's go to Walmart. I mean, mind you, our own kids need things or whatever. But again, I look at it, well, God's going to bless me. God sees the things that I do and whatnot. So we went to Walmart. I got a couple of items of clothes for him, something that could be interchangeable and mixed and matched or whatever, and, you know, can go on. Well, of course, while I'm there, you know, my son, you know, he needs some things. Let me grab him an outfit or a shirt or two or a pair of pants or whatever. So I'm getting underwear and socks and this and that. And, you know, of course, I'm the one who buys it. He didn't pull out his card or whatnot. And so that was in July. Like I said, the young man, the little boy, he has behavior issues. But again, I have two kids, well, we have two kids that also have mental illnesses and behavior issues and ADHD and learning disabilities. And I've been telling him over the years, but he doesn't want to believe it. Honestly, I think the kids, and I've been saying it over the years, the first and the last who have the mental issues and the ADHD, I have a inside joke or things that I say, people's not necessarily a joke, but the first and the last are their father's child. The middle two take after me. They're gifted and talented. They're, you know, mindful. And I don't discredit none of my kids. I don't dislove them in no type of way. But I know that the first and the last, they're all him. And I told him, you know, when he had his anger issues and, you know, he's a Gemini. He can go from 0 to 100 real quick. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. 1 minute he could be nice and happy, and the next minute he can be ready to jump off a cliff. You know, he has had suicidal tendencies and issues, and the kids as well. I've had postpartum depression with a couple of the kids and different things. And I'm not going to say that I don't have any mental issues, because I can get angry too. I can be depressed too. And again, the start of this was being in a dark headspace. And I was in that dark headspace recently, and not just once. I was in that dark headspace twice. And so the little boy was here for a month, and there had been falling out. He called me out of my name. He hit several of the kids. He wanted to run out the house and hit on us and different things and bang his head up against the wall. Just a lot of things. And I found that old issues and old behaviors and old characteristics of my ex-husband was coming out that I seen when we were married or off again, on again. His anger was coming back more, and I call it the asshole mentality. His asshole effect will come out. And I'm like, you never showed this to your other ex-wife. She should have seen the asshole in you. You vented to me about things that she didn't do, but you never showed her the asshole side of you, but you're going to show it to me. And again, he's online looking for validation and wanting to be in a relationship, and then will get mad because people wouldn't talk to him, and he's sending messages and DMs and no responses and this and that and the third. Then I also told him, you know, don't reconnect with other old flames, and don't reach out to old flames. And he's like, I'm not going to do that. Well, needless to say, he did. He claims that a lot of the people that did come around was on Facebook dating. Some of his exes or flings that he slept with, he saw profiles on Facebook dating and they were a match. And then some people would drop into his DM or Facebook messengers or whatever. And then he reconnected with some of them and this and that and the third. But all the while, I'm working. I work 12-hour shifts. My day starts at 5:45 in the morning. I'm also trying to motivate him to get up and get out. You know, he does roadside assistance, and, you know, he also wanted to start his own company here in Houston. And I try to, again, be that helpmate. What is it that you need to do to get this off the ground? I'm here to help you. Let's get this started. You want to do a family business and leave it for the legacy of the kids. And I'm trying to help him and motivate him in all areas. But again, I felt like I was not getting things in return. So again, the little boy stayed here for a whole month in July, then went back home when school started, and we didn't hear from the mom. Then an incident happened at the school, and she called and said, hey, I need you to go to the school, and he did this, and then the third, I can't go, can you go? So then he goes. The little boy ended up coming over here because of how he acted out. And so then the school was like, hey, we're on the verge of expelling him, or, you know, if he don't do right, we gonna kick him out. We gonna give him another chance. That was chance number 1. So then it was talked about where, hey, let him come stay with me full time during the weekend. He can go home to his mom on the weekends. Of course, I was supportive of him. I agreed to it. Our 4 kids are homeschooled. You know, the 3 are still in school. Our oldest is out, but she's here with the kids and everything. So I agreed to it, you know, but you got to get up and you got to take them. And again, I stayed way on the southwest side and close to Pearland, and the little boy went to school way on the north side in Aldine area, almost 1960, and the Kirkendall, way out there in that vicinity. So again, when school start, got to be at school by 7:15. You got to leave this side of town to beat the traffic by a certain time. And again, I get up at 5:45 to go to work because I work out Energy Corridor area, West Houston. So I would get up. I'm trying to wake him up. Hey, get up. It's time to get up. I get up. You know, my routine is get up, go make me some coffee. You know, and while my coffee is being brewed, I go hop in the shower. Well, now my kids don't have to get up. They are homeschooled. But I had to go get him up. Hey, time to wake up. Go. I laid out the clothes like a parent would do, a mother would do, or a parent. I laid out the clothes the night before, make sure, you know, hey, make sure that he had a towel, go in there and go take a shower and stuff. I'm making a bowl of cereal, so in the event when he's done taking a shower, that he can come out and eat his food, you know, while I'm in the bathroom getting myself dressed. So I go do that. While along, ex-husband still over there knocked out sleep. Hey, it's time to get up. Well, you need to get up. You got to get up, got to get dressed, you know. And on days that he didn't have the little boy or didn't have to take him to school, I'm still trying to motivate him to get up. Because again, with the roadside, if you turn on, you know, maximize your day. Turn on early so you can get in and get up and get out. He also does, you know, Uber Eats, and at the time Postmates and DoorDash and Grubhub and all these other entities of making money. And I'm still trying to get him up and get him out to motivate him. Hey, wake up, do this, do that, and the third. You know, he also, some days I have to take his mom to work. She's a school teacher. She had to be up and, you know, and this and then the third. Hey, get up. You got to get up. Got to wake up. You know, I was doing those things because he expressed to me that when he was married, his wife wouldn't wake him up. She wouldn't make him no coffee. So I'm trying to show him that other side, trying to be that helpmate. Hey, come on, get up. But my thing is, if you don't have that drive and motivation, I can't make that for you. But I still tried. I still did. Hey, get up. There were days that I would be late for work, be it if it's 5 or 10 minutes. Heck, the other person was there, been there 12 hours. They want to get off because, heck, trust me, when 7 p.m. hits, I'm ready to walk out that door and I'm ready for my relief to come so I can go. And he, I'm making sure he's up. I'm making myself some coffee, making him some coffee or tea. He doesn't have air in his car or his truck. So I'm making him his thermos or cup full of ice water or whatever so he can take it out the door. He's trying to grow his hair, dreads or whatever, giving him vitamins, trying to give him some B12 to also give him the extra energy or whatever, making sure he have his supplements so he can take. And, that's what I'll do to kind of wake him up. Hey, here's your vitamins. Come take your vitamins. Here's some water or whatever. And then days again that he didn't have to take the little boy to school, or if the little boy was gone on the weekends or didn't have to take his mom, I'm still trying to motivate him to get up. Because my thing of it is, I'm busting my ass. Be it if at time I was working 60 hours a week. Then they cut my hours on top of that. So bills got behind. I'm working my ass off. Already is not paying child support. Heck, that went by the wayside for some months. And that's another story. The judge had told him the last time we went to court, hey, you on probation. Your probation has been revoked. You are, and they tried again. But the next time I see your name come across my desk, you're going to have a warrant out for your arrest. But I'm trying to help him. And what got frustrating is being on these dating websites. You being showing this different side of you, going on these dates, or if you rekindling things from your past and talking to people from your past that either things didn't work out or y'all started to talk or communicate and then it fell off or whatever the case may be. You revisiting these people to you're trying to make things work or restart things with them. But why couldn't you give me a second chance? You done gave your second ex-wife a second chance and remarried her. I've grown, but you don't want to do that. I'm trying to show you the different side and I'm here for you. Being crazy and dumb and whatever. Working 12 hours, coming home, cooking for not just our kids, but when your other son was here. Making you a plate before I make the kids a plate sometimes. But then sometimes you'll sit there and be like, hey, where's my plate? And then sometimes on some days I'll be like, go make it yourself. Because some days I did not feel validated. I did not feel appreciative. I'm working my ass off and not getting anything in return. I want to spend some quality time with you and hang out with you. But then all of a sudden it's, I'm going to go hang out with X, Y, and Z. Then one time had the audacity, you can't afford the pot to piss in and the dough to throw it out of, can't afford to put gas in your car or buy a pack of cigarettes. You asking me to buy you some cigarettes. But then you want to go hang out with whoever, but you can't afford to take them out on a date. Ooh, I'm going to need a loan. I know, I'm loaned out. I'm going to send you something because, hey, you at a restaurant and, hey, I want something. So I'm going to send you something because I want you to buy me something. But how is that right? I started questioning my worth. And I started seeing patterns of, and I made a comment to him. You starting to do things that dudes would do that I would think I was talking to. I would, in the past, I would move people in quick. Because it's like, hey, you over there, we can help each other out. Did that happen in the past? No, people just use me and use me up. I'm constantly suffering. Heck, these past few months, I wasn't getting any food stamps. Food stamps had left in February. They denied me. And I'm sitting up here just, Lord, Lord, Lord. I'm trying to scrape things. I had an old client, both of her parents passed away, but she has blessed me in many, many ways. Sometimes it's monetary, sometimes it's not. But here and there lately, she was blessing me with food and different things. And so if I had some noodles, I'll go buy a pack of meat, making meals to make sure the kids ate. God always provided. I never went without. If I didn't have gas, don't get me wrong. If I didn't have gas and I beg and plead and I tell him like, man, dude, I ain't got no gas. I need some gas in my car. Yeah, he was able to give me $20 here or whatever the case may be. Now, there's sometimes where I did ask for something. And it's like, hey, can you help me out? And then he want to harp and, I got my this, my that. Oh, you got a cell phone bill? Oh, yeah. But you wanted us to all get iPhones and upgrade. I was doing fine with my Boost. Granted, I got the iPhone when I thought I was going to be in lockdown because I'm like, okay, hey, FaceTiming the kids if I'm away for 2 weeks or whatever the case may be. I can FaceTime the kids and this and that and the third. Well, hell, now, Apple, you can FaceTime Android people. So now I'm like, what the hell? Getting one of the kids off of my mom's cell phone plan and whatever. And then the 2 little kids that I had on Boost, we all on one plan. But hell, I was only paying $40 for my cell phone and $105 for my 2 younger kids. So total, that's $145 I was paying Boost. Now we all on AT&T and my cell phone bill is almost $300. That's almost double from what I was paying before. But listening to him, y'all need to do this and this and that and the third. I found myself going into debt. Wasn't on food stamps, but I had credit cards. Ended up maxing out my credit cards because we got to eat. Got to put food in the house. Credit cards maxed out. He was like, oh, you should get a watch. And at the time, he had the 3 Series or whatever. And, I got a Best Buy credit card because I initially moved into a house. It'll be a year in December. And so I figured, okay, I can have this Best Buy credit card to help me do Christmas gifts. This was last year and whatever. I might need some things or whatever. So I ended up buying myself a watch, treating myself. I did that early part of the year. I also found myself, because I got my hours was cut back at work, that one day did a lot. I started seeing that bills was being behind. My mortgage, I couldn't pay that. And I'm like, dude, you don't see me struggling? You don't see this? And then a recent conversation we just had, I want to say yesterday, I'm like, you didn't see that I was struggling? I said, did you even care? You didn't tell me what bills needed to be paid. Nigga, that's a lie. I literally put stuff on a board. I'm organized. I have a calendar. I ended up writing things out. What, you wanted me to give you an invoice? Hell, there was times where I did ask you, hey, I need such and such, or this is behind, or this needs to be paid. But again, when it came to his bills, his cell phone bill, hell, he was paying car insurance with his ex-wife. Y'all divorced. But you paying the whole $300 and something for the car insurance, and she not paying her half, her portion. But you also not paying child support. How is that fair? It's okay for you. Well, I need to make sure I pay the insurance and this and that and the third. Then you was sending money to people. You can't give me $4 or $5, but somebody texting you ain't seen this chick since y'all were teenagers or whatever, had a crush on her, and some chick that you went to church with. But you sitting up here sending her money. She give you a little nipple slip, or, I need this and then the third, but you ain't seen this chick, but you sitting up here, you gonna send her the money. So over time, you tell me later, yeah, I didn't. But then you get piss po mad because people are constantly asking you. Heck, you say your ex-wife was asking you for money. Then when I ask you for something, you get mad. But you'll get mad and you'll vent about other people asking you for money. But then some people won't pay you back. But then you'll say, well, she good for the ex-wife. She good for, she'll pay me back, or this and then the third. But you didn't feel like you was obligated to pay anything over here, and you were staying here. When I first moved in my house, my first light bill was $68. My light bill now was running $150. My water bill, I had to ask the kids, are y'all taking a bath? My water bill was like $20, $30. My water bill now is $100. Extra bodies to wash, extra clothes to wash. But was I getting any residual from that? No. I still trying to motivate him to get out and work. On my days off, I would like to sleep in. But if he had to go take his mom to work, I'm waking him up. Hey, gotta get up, gotta get up. You gotta go take your mom to work. Or if you got to go take the little boy to school, I'm still getting up, waking the little boy up. Hey, go take a shower, go get dressed, got to go to school. But I still not getting no benefit from doing that. I'm just constantly. Hell, then he'll look at me like, you're not going to ride with me? I'm like, what? But I still got up and did it. For the companionship. Then it was like, well, you want to get out and work or whatever. I would ride along with him to go on the run, to do Uber or whatever. Oh, he doing the roadside or whatever. That was my way of motivating him, hanging out with him, and this and the third. He say he all about his hustle. I'm not gonna have nobody to stop my hustle. Okay, have that mentality. But then I started seeing things change. He got involved with these women or whatever. They stopped his hustle. You're not moving the same. You gonna stop, but you claim that it's slow, so you will turn off, so you'll go hang out. But I can make it up. I'll go work at night. But you're barely making $10, $20 at night. You talking about the money ain't coming in because God is punishing you. But you don't see it. I say you're not living right. One of the chicks you're talking to is married. Well, she's separated, but she's still married. Yeah, she might have her own place. But what's to say that she's going to divorce the dude? Anytime you bring up the divorce, she don't want you to bring it up or talk about it. But you are infatuated. All these women, even before moving to Houston, he would talk about the women that he would like or whatever. All these infatuations. Put that energy in your kids. But you constantly, and I just found myself getting deeper and deeper emotionally attached, but I would be constantly get hurt. We would talk on the phone all day. It hurts me that we're not on the phone because we would talk on the phone all day. Even on, I would try to wake him up when I get to work if he didn't have nowhere to go or whatever, and I left him at home sleeping. I get home, I get to work, call him and try to wake him up. Hey, come on, get up, wake up. It's time to get out. But then there's days that he didn't want to get up. He didn't want to get out the bed, and I'm like, well, damn. I don't get that. I don't get that opportunity. Because I was off on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, but I still found myself getting up, waking up, and constantly doing. Any house projects that I needed to do or wanted to do never got done because I was always pouring into him. I lost my peace because I was always pouring into him. And then my mom calling me, wanting me and guilt tripping and, y'all acting funny and you don't want to come over here and I can't do this. I was always pouring into people and nobody poured into me. Granted, my releasing of stress is always cleaning and doing. And he's like, well, you got kids, they can do that. Well, they're not going to clean the way I want things to be done. That was my outlet of doing things. But again, coming home, got to go to the grocery store. He didn't have the money to go to the store. Now, don't get me wrong. A couple of times I may say, hey, I ordered something. Can you go pick it up from HEB or something? But then I still got the flax. I still got the, I can't do what I want to do. Well, because you want to go lay and play and be with every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Now look at it. Your truck is breaking down. Every time you fix something, something is breaking again. But are these people going to help you? No. And I literally just asked him yesterday, if you were to get locked up for the non-payment of child support, how many of these folks is going to stick around? He literally said he didn't know. You chasing tails, how the old people will say. You're chasing hind parts. You're chasing ass. You're chasing tails. These people don't care. They only care for what you can do for them in the moment. Every time somebody want to hang out, they want to go to a restaurant. They want to go out and go spend money that you don't have. If you made $20, $30 on Uber or whatever, you're going to go spend that money to go pay for to go out to eat. But then you need cigarettes or you need gas, and you're talking, I need, and I'll sit up here and I get tired of hearing the I need, and so I'll do it. Or hell, when I literally got to the point where I had the final straw a couple of weeks ago, he had to go to court because he got a ticket for running a red light, and then also didn't have his registration because of foolishness. You not working like you was to go get your registration and this and the third. Hell, I even helped him $30 with the registration. I guess he forgot about that part. But he needed gas. Oh, my gas light about to come on. Okay, I gave him $9. I could have gave him more, but I didn't. I got tired. So then you want to text your ex-wife and say, I need some gas money. Why are we helping you with things, but you want to not work and you want to go lay and play? He initially had the audacity to ask his mom for the $500. Hey, I got a ticket and it's going to cost me $500. Don't pay that boy's ticket. No. You constantly want people to do for you, but you're not doing right. What you mean I'm not doing right? Because I don't want to be with you? You think doing right is marrying you and being with you? No. Yeah, would I love it? Yeah, I would love that. But no. Focus on yourself. Find who you are. And then the rest will follow. So again, going back to what I initially was talking about, being in a dark space, I found myself pouring into other people. I found myself depleting myself. I found myself not happy. My confidence has never really been there. And again, that's another topic for another day. People might talk about this video. Oh, she cross-eyed, she this, she's that. Well, again, I will talk about that in another video. But I was born legally blind. I have no sight in my right eye. And I've been ridiculed as a child. I've been talked about. I have not had the friends. I'm sitting in my car, but I am not the skinniest crayon in the box. I have always been heavy set or fat. I've lost weight, but I've never been super, super skinny. Heck, the smallest I've ever been was, surprisingly, I wore a size 10 after I had my last child, after I had my son. You know, you lose all the baby weight and stuff, and I did. I lost all the baby weight and then some. I felt like every time I was pregnant, I lost weight in my pregnancy versus I didn't gain a lot. But hell, all that weight has come back or whatever. But I've never been confident because people always talked about me. You know, hell, my own mother talked about me. I feel like she's ashamed of me. And again, I will go in depth on that on another day. So yeah, my self-confidence and my self-worth has never been there, and it felt like anybody that gave me love or attention, I gravitated to. I'ma hold on to that. They care about me, or I thought they cared about me, but they just used me. So again, I found myself in a dark space. I didn't love myself. I didn't want to be here. Granted, I have 4 kids that's looking up to me, and I had to look at that. He's sitting up here showing the kids women. These kids not crazy. They see that you staying with us and mommy, we watching movies as a family or whatever, and we could be cuddled up on the couch or whatever. They see that you sleep in the same bed with me. But when you in the car with the kids or whatever, granted, I knew that he was swiping. He would be in the bed swiping or texting or whatever. But again, when you not around me and you hanging out with people, you not calling me or texting me. But when you around me, anybody text you or whatever, you quick to respond. But you won't give me that same respect or courtesy. If I call you when you not around or you busy or whatever, give me a sec, I'll call you back. But you wouldn't text me, but you texting these other people in my presence. I want that attention. So when his attention and I started seeing that his focus changed, it's like, hey, you giddy, ha, ha, ha with all these other people. I can hear you on the phone talking to people. Hey, what the hell? Who are you? My focus ain't changed. No, you in this full tunnel vision infatuation. Your focus has changed. You're not working as hard as you used to. And people was like, hell, even the kids, let these people find out on their own. But I couldn't do it. I don't know if the demon, the devil, people can say, don't say the devil. Well, somebody was acting. I just got to the point where I got fed up. So, he was hanging with his dad, doing something, a project with his dad, came home. I'm thinking, I'm off. You've been gone all day. We finna hang out, this and the third. Or at least get out and do runs. Even though that's not the type of hanging out I wanted to do, but that still allowed me to spend time with him. He texting and playing spades or whatever on his phone. Then all of a sudden, oh, I'm waiting to hear back from blah, blah, blah. Say what? But you just asked me for a glass of wine. You said up here, don't try that wine. His sister gave me a bottle of Stella Rose pineapple. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he was like, you better not drink that without me. I'm going to be so mad. I should have drunk the whole bottle. But I saved it. I waited. But not even 2-3 hours later, we were into it. He decides to leave. You leave? I'm going to go hang out. I'll be back. You know what? I'm done. I'm tired. I didn't want to lose a friendship, but I got tired. And so he was like, I'll be back. And I'm like, you'll be back? Like, what the hell? You've been gone all day. So then he goes and we had the family sharing and Life 360 or whatever. And prior to that, a week or so prior to that, I was also in a dark headspace because that was around the time of the abortion that happened. And hell, then that day, I wanted just the affection. You know, with the 5 love languages, sometimes you want quality time. Sometimes you need physical touch. Sometimes I just want to be held. You know, at night we used to cuddle and or whatever. Then he started backing away. But then some days he would want to be cuddled or held or vice versa or whatever. Some days I just want a hug. You know, asked how my day went just to be refilled or replenished. So then he ended up leaving that night. I saw him on the Life 360. I saw where he was. Apparently, he said he had ended up getting a flat tire. So he got a flat tire. And, when he left that night, again, the kids see things and he thinks that this is my doing. But it's like, dude, these kids are older. It's not like they 4 and 5 years old. These kids are teenagers. They see the behavior of what you do. Heck, they see the fact that when the little boy ended up getting expelled from school, and so he was here. Nobody, and waiting for mom to enroll him into another program and different things. She finally had enrolled him into a program, and he was here. He figures, well, all the other kids are homeschooled, I can get him started, and then, he can be here with the kids. But you're not going out to work. You're going out to hang out. How is that right? I'll be at work, but the kids are here. They got to worry about, is this boy going to act out? Is he going to have a behavior episode? Then it got to where they were taking care of him or feeding him and making him something to eat. You sitting here, heck, one day I asked him, because I got tired. One day I said, can you figure out what dinner is? I got tired of working all day, coming home, making dinner so everybody can eat. It's like, hey, can you step in and figure out what dinner is? But you constantly on your phone texting throughout the day. You constantly playing solitaire, playing spades. Your focus and your mindset is not there. Solitaire and spades is not going to pay the bills. Laying and playing and having sex and hanging out is not going to pay the bills. What's going to happen when all the lovey butterfly feelings go away? They see you and they do get what they can out of you. Again, you get locked up. These people ain't going to be there for you like your children would be if you pour into your children. We got 18 years or more. We got a lifetime. Because at the end of the day, these kids are going to get married. These kids are going to have kids. And our friendship, developed good. But then, I acted out. I went and the kids, I came back in the house because I was mad and frustrated and stuff. And they were already standing around the counter. They were ready. They was like, you know what? No. They packed up his stuff. I didn't have to pack it up. We took the clothes and threw some stuff out the car to him in front of his girlfriend or whatever she is. But she's still married. She don't know the truth. You telling folks you living with your parents, but you're not. You living with your kids and your ex-wife. How is any relationship going to flourish when you're not being honest? He's never been honest over the years, and that's the thing. I know him and I know his character. I know the type of person he is. He's always a liar. Hell, you was lying to your second ex-wife about communicating and talking with me. You lied to me throughout our marriage, on again, off again. So how is anybody gonna believe what you say? So I took the clothes, threw them out in front of the girl, in front of him. He wanted to put his hands and push on me and then push on our daughter. He claims that's not what he did, but that's what happened. I took the remainder clothes to his mom and them. They was like, why are you bringing the clothes here? Throw it under the bridge somewhere. Throw it off on the curb somewhere. Because they also see the type of person he is and how he's been over the years. He don't, but again, like they say, blood is thicker than water. But he don't see the wrong that he has done. He never sees the wrong. He always fault blame on you, and he'll turn it around to make it seem like you the bad person. Well, we wouldn't be in this situation if you didn't go throw my clothes out there. Okay, sorry. I bought him a MacBook. Hell, I don't have one. Hell, I'm recording this on my phone. I'm going to probably have to edit this on my phone. But I went and bought him a MacBook. This was in 2020 when the lockdown happened, quote unquote. Again, I had my Best Buy credit card thinking, okay, he's coming here because of lockdown. He ain't going to be able to work. And at the time, he was trying to get into day trading and into the Forex market. So I'm like, okay, I buy you the computer. You can be able to try to day trade and stuff. Invested $100 into him to put on the market or whatever. Have I seen any residual from that? No. So when I went and tossed his stuff out, I didn't take that computer. Why? That you not paying child support. That belongs to me. Hell, you say you was gonna pay me back. You ain't paid me back for it. That belongs to me. But then he wants to start throwing in the law. Well, such and such law say my possessions stay here, so I have residency here. Oh no! You say your residency is your mama house. You didn't want to use this address. You say that that's not the case. But also, guess what, boo-boo? In the state of Texas, it's common law married. But you want to throw the law, and you always want to talk about the law this, the law that. Technically, it's common law married. So he, that night after that happened, I guess he went, and him and the little girl went out on a date or whatever, and he went and spent the night at her house. He claimed that's not what happened, but I'm not stupid. No, you went and stayed at the girl's house that night or whatever. Then the next day you want to come and, and knock on my door and this and then the third. I want my computer back and this and then the third. And so I was able to get into the computer. Saw the text messages because, again, on iPhone, things pair or whatever. You texting the girl, I love you. She don't know shit about you. She just know what you can do. You put it down in the bedroom and bam, that's it. But also, a couple of days prior, after leaving her house at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, you come getting in the bed with me, cuddling with me, and sleeping with me. Granted, I know I have all the flax behind it and whatever. But again, I know I'm not the only person that has been in the situationship. But God has brought me out of the situationship. God has kind of dealt with me in so many ways, and hopefully again my story will bless somebody else. You ain't got to belittle yourself to be with no man to validate you. Know your worth. Heck, the what's her name, Danny Lay and the baby yesterday. Today is Tuesday, the 16th of November. Yesterday, going viral. He putting her on blast and calling her the certified side bitch or side chick, and whatever. Know your worth. It's hard. Trust me, I'm trying daily. It hurts me that we're not communicating. It hurts me. We would talk every day. That's my best friend. I had literally had to repent. I wasn't going to give him that computer back. I seen the things that he was telling people and texting them, and, oh, she just jealous and she just this and then the third. So you downgrading my character. So then I reached out to people that he calls his best friend, or people, other chicks that he be talking to or whatever, that are friends or he actually have feelings for, but talk to them as friends. One got a dude already and whatever. So I sent them messages on Facebook Messenger explaining everything. Again, he to this day tells me the conversation went a different way. Oh, they say you jealous and you just this and the third. But then these women build me up. Sis, do better. Sis, you got them kids. Sometimes I'm like, but I always have the kids. But as women, we always gonna have the children. The men can go and live their life and do whatever, and they can claim that is not easy for them. But at the end of the day, you have to do what's right for you and your children. Or if you don't have kids, you got to do what's right for your heart. Yeah. I guess you can say I haven't had a real relationship since him. Because all the people I've had in the past or after him was just situationships or sex or whatever. I found myself a few years back, these people are just wanting me for my body. So I vowed for the wait. I had waited. I said I was going to wait for whoever God sends for me. Then another counterfeit came back into my life. He was somebody that I talked to before my ex-husband. This is when I met him when I was in Florida when I was younger. And I'm like, oh, wow, this dude here, he comes back in my life or whatever. He ended up coming out here to Houston. He used me too. And ironically, when I was in that dark headspace, when they say soul ties is real, soul ties is real. He would text me off and on Facebook, but I only would find him texting me late at night when I'm about to go to sleep. You know, they call those the booty call hours. It wasn't after midnight, but it was close to it, somewhere in between. It was like midnight Florida time, but not my time. Hey, what you doing? I'm like, nothing, going to bed, got to get up for work, this and the third. Or he'll ask me what I'm wearing, and I'm like, I didn't really want to entertain him. One night he's like, hey, what you doing? I didn't respond. I responded the next morning. I just found out last week that text message that I sent him, I don't know if he was already killed or not, but he was murdered October the 28th. And I'm like, dang. But I also thought, because he also was like, I want to come back out to Texas. I want to come back out to Texas. I also thought in the back of my mind, I never really pursued it because my ex-husband was living here. I can't have somebody else come out here and, yeah, I got a whole dude living with me. But I don't know if that was God's protection. He knew that I didn't need that either. And he will bless me for the stuff that I lost in that situationship. But yeah. And my ex-husband, I want my MacBook. Dude, you got a whole crap ton of your stuff still in my house. But all you hollering about is your MacBook. But you are also a Mason. You in a Freemasonry. You talk about Prince Hall and you talk about all this other stuff. But you're not living right as a Mason. I don't know all your vows and rituals and different things, but aren't they supposed to be godly? Or is Masonry teaching you to be a hoe? Because you're not living right. But I also helped you in those aspects too. You want to go up another degree, didn't have the money. You wanted your rituals and all your stuff at a special discounted price. I helped you get that at that discounted price. But where am I? So I'm like, dang. You know, you doing all this. But when he came to my house to get his stuff. Yeah, he loaded the car up and he stepped on my Mac. You're not going to give me my Mac? You're not going to give me my Mac? I just felt this spirit come over me. And I think it was God. Go on and give it to him. I got more in store for you. So I gave it to him. The initial mindset of me doing all of the stuff that I did, I was strong at the time because I felt like I knew my worth. But then that last day, last week, when he came and gathered his stuff, I broke. I cried like a baby. I went in my closet, I closed the door, and I got on my knees. I dropped to my knees and I asked God for forgiveness. That was not in my character. Old ways of me was coming out. And I'm like, God, this is not of me. But then I lost a friend. I lost somebody that I cared deeply about. But then he say he cares about me. He say I didn't lose a friend, but I felt like I lost a friend. If he wants to continue to be in my life, well, again, we got kids. You know, he feels like I need to apologize or I should tell the kids what happened because the kids shouldn't have meddled in grown folks' business. That was a grown folk situation. But then you also tell our 18-year-old, you keep on emphasizing to her that she's grown. She can make her own decisions. But then now you want to say she's a child. Which one is it? But these last few days, I've been praying and meditating. I've been getting back in my word. I mean, I wasn't really off my word because don't get me wrong, while he was here, I still would listen to my daily devotional on the Uverse app, or I would listen to, again, no sponsorship, just a plug, things that help me out. Jerry Flowers, Redefine TV. Find them on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I had been listening to his messages over the years. He'd go live on Sundays and on Thursdays. So I don't never watch them live. I always watch the replay. So Fridays I'll watch the replay, or Mondays I'll watch the replay. Also, Real Talk Kim. I downloaded her app a long time ago. Get her inspirations that comes out during the day or whatever to inspire me. I listen to her podcast when they drop. And I've been doing this for a while. And when me and him wasn't on the phone talking, I would listen to my podcast or things. And again, the funny part is he was a preacher. He got ordained under a false prophet, he says. But, when he was locked up some years back, he said he found God. But over the last 2-3 years, he's been in this rebellion state. And I've been trying to send him stuff, or I try to talk to him, or when we do talk sometimes and have deep conversations, he'll start preaching a word or quoting scripture and things, but then he's like, I'm not, that's not me right now. But I still try to inspire him and lift him up. But then he just constantly, over and over again, if I see something that I think he could benefit from, I would text it to him or send it to him. again, you can send things to people, you don't know if they log on. I pray that he one day does listen to anything that I send him. But then that was another thing that got me. When I had his computer and he, I ended up texting the girl because I was mad and frustrated. You just a full-fledged liar. So I ended up texting the girl stuff that I found in the computer or stuff that I knew about, seeing their conversations, and I would kind of piggyback things she was opening up about her husband or whatever and their relationship and where things may have went wrong. And I'm like, you getting this right in this same dude. But like somebody said, they got to learn on their own. Hell, I tried to pre-warn the other baby mama years ago. She found out the hard way. I tried to warn the ex-wife. She found out the hard way. But they were married for so many years. But it's, you can't teach people. I guess my thing of it is because I was hurting so deep. Like they say, hurt people. And because I was so hurt and unhappy and felt empty, I wanted him to feel the pain. I wanted the girl to leave him. Honestly, I don't 100% think that happened. Because again, I think she may have some insecurities. And I think that's his I guess motive, or not motive, but I think that's his attraction. You find people that's kind of hurt just like you or needs to be saved, because the second ex-wife was married, and at the time he was a security officer. So I called him. I say, so you was a super saver hoe? And he admitted it. He was like, yeah, she was in an abusive marriage and whatnot, and I think I was there to save her and whatnot. And then that's how they connected and had a bond or whatever, and they got close real fast. And I think that's the thing too. He's damaged. You go find somebody else that's damaged or in need. You offering the girl, you texting her, offering her to pay for her divorce, when you can't even, divorce is $300. That $300 could go to your $50,000 plus behind you are in child support. But you offering to pay somebody else's divorce, but you can't pay child support. You couldn't pay a bill as to where you were staying. But again, I guess I was trying to speed up the process of karma. And he doesn't see the karma that he's living over these years. Why me? Why me? Because you're not doing right. Well, I believe in karma. Well, dude, you're seeing your karma, but you don't see it. You got this tunnel vision and you're like, well, these runs are not coming in and I'm not making money like I should. And I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that. Things are not working out for me. Maybe because how you do people. But I am a living witness. I guess God say, my daughter, you have hurt way too long. Like I said, I got on my knees. I repented. I prayed. I asked God, please forgive me. But my prayers was already being answered prior to that. Struggling to pay things. And I pay my tithes. That's the first thing that come off top. Maybe 1 or 2 weeks where it's like, well, do I pay my tithes or do I pay this bill? Well, if I don't pay this bill, this will get turned off. But I'm trying to be a good steward and be a good child of God. So there's been a couple of times where my tithes didn't get paid, but I know God knows my heart. I did my steward and other things. And God may have seen that this situation and helping him and helping the son, that I'm going to bless you, my daughter. My savings account at one point had over $5,000 in it. Had 59 cents in it. Heck, because the bank charges the maintenance fee, it was negative $7 and something last week. And I'm like, Lord. He says, but I got you. So blessings started flowing and flowing and flowing. Blessings started just coming in. And I thank God for it. And I continue to thank God for it. And like I said, that was God that said, give him that computer. Now I'm like, I miss my best friend. We don't talk. We don't communicate. But even like one of his friends told me, if it's meant for him to come back around, be it co-parenting, be it a relationship or whatever, he's going to have to come around in due season. I pray for him every day. I've been doing my devotionals. I've been, like I said, I listen to Real Talk Kim. I listen to Transformation Church, Michael Todd. I've been going through his Relationship Goals series, Relationship Reloaded. I'll sit up here and I'll listen to inspiration all day, just constantly, one after the next. I may stop and do some praise and worship and singing hymns, and things have come to me, total praise and just, broken by Shekinah Glory Ministry. Just different things have been ministering my life and healing me. But then when I'm not there, of course, in the back of my mind, when they say idle minds have idle thoughts, I think of him. What is he doing? Yeah, he got mad. He's deleted me off of all social media platforms. He deleted me out. We had family sharing. That was the first thing he did, was delete me off of that. Then he deleted the kids. What the kids had to do with it? Just being petty. But then I asked him yesterday, I said, so what is it going to take to get the friendship back? Time. I got to see if who else you done sent things to or whatever. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. But again, if it's meant to be, it'll be. If God meant for that friendship to be rekindled or whatever, communication to be there again, it'll be. But you got to find peace in you. Sage yourself, sage your house if you believe in that. If you believe in, females, if you believe in the vaginal steaming, cleanse yourself of your ex or any emotional attachments, any emotional soul ties or any physical soul ties. Find peace. Go for a walk. I've been finding myself going for a walk. He got his weight bench here. I told him to put it up so I can lift weights. This is before he moved out. But I never got a chance to come out and do it because I've been so consumed in him. I was more consumed in him than I was with myself. Felt like this weight was lifted off of me after things was done. I'm trying to get back on my weight loss regimen or eating right. I was intermittent fasting at first and not eating after 7. But hell, when I got to come home and cook for everybody, I'm eating after 7 because I don't get off until 7. But you have to do what you have to do to find peace in yourself. And again, starting this is my outlet. This will be my out. the things that I've gone through, I want to inspire and show that to people. Maybe it'll help somebody. So I will end this. I know it's long. Hopefully when I cut it down, or like they say, vulnerability, being vulnerable and being out there. Yeah, it's choppy, it's crappy. My first video, however I'll be able to use it. Hopefully I can use the audio in this on the podcast and not have to re-record it. But I hope this blessed somebody. And again, this is Ebony. Thanks for listening.